Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new Max Talks box office, my box office breakdown show every single Monday, where we look at the top 5 movies of the domestic box office this weekend. Then we're going to look at the best overall movies of the entire year at the domestic box office in total. And then we're going to look at worldwide top 10 box office. My name is Max Sternberg. If you're new to the channel, I do this show every single Monday. If you're already liking the video, please, guys, hit the thumbs up button below your screen, the like. It is the best way to support the channel. If you want to support this channel, that's how you do it. Also, please comment down below, what movies did you see in theaters this past weekend? And I also, please subscribe and ring the bell if you're new to the channel. I've done a lot of these movie reviews, a lot of these movies I'm talking about today. I've already done the movie reviews of those. So my movie review playlist, my TV show reviews, this show every single Monday, movie rankings, many more things I do on the channel. So please consider subscribing, ring the bell for notifications. Let's talk about the box office from this past weekend. So coming in first place, guys, at the domestic box office this weekend, in its opening weekend, was Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise, Disney film that is, as of now, the last film for Disney to use both the Premiere Access, $30, and in theaters simultaneously. Jungle Cruise made $34 million at the box office in its opening weekend. It was in over 4,000 theaters this past weekend in its opening weekend. It also made $30 million on Disney Plus for the Premiere Access. So we already heard that there were sequel talks already. Seems like Disney, The Rock, all these people are so far happy with the Premiere Access and in theaters. Obviously, we have the Scarlett Johansson suing that's currently going on. We'll see if that affects any more films. Free Guy is the next really Disney film that will not be using the Premiere Access. So Jungle Cruise, #1, making $34 million. Coming in #2 is another movie that just came out this weekend, and that is A24's The Green Knight, that only makes $6.7 million at the box office. It was only in under 3,000 theaters. It was at the 2,700 mark, as was Jungle Cruise at 4,300. So $6.784 million for A Green Knight. Again, it's pretty much an indie film. It needs to make, I think the budget was like $10 to $15 million. It was in that ballpark right there. And The Green Knight making 6.7. While the Rotten Tomatoes score is very high and the critic score is very high, the audience score is not very high for The Green Knight. So maybe that's why people did not check out The Green Knight. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite movies of the entire year. But again, some people are not, obviously not loving this movie, but it is at second place, making 6.7. In its second weekend, in third place is M. Night Shyamalan's Old, just 24,000 shy of The Green Knight, $6.76 million at the box office in its second weekend. That movie was playing in 3,379 theaters. It is a 60% drop from its opening weekend for Old, which is really the ballpark where most movies are hitting after its opening weekend. Again, Old is only made for, I believe, $15 to $20 million. So it's already doing pretty good for Universal, especially when you add in all the PVOD money that this movie will recoup. Not a bad move for Universal. Again, this is a Universal film. Coming in fourth place, the highly turned out to be controversial Black Widow, the second Disney film to be in the top 5 this weekend. It made $6.426 million at the box office this past weekend, which is a 45% drop from before, and it's now in its 4th week of release. As I said, it's in the Premiere Access and in theaters. Scarlett Johansson has sued Disney over the fact that the Premiere Access was not in her contract, and she lost a lot of back-end money due to it going to Premiere Access and in theaters. We'll obviously keep track of that. We'll also see if Black Widow could continue to stay in the top 5. Looks like it might for maybe one more week. So 6.42, and coming in 5th place this weekend was the other new releases. So all 3 new releases that came out this week are all in the top 5. And in 5th place is Matt Damon's Stillwater, making $5.1 million at the box office. It only played in 2,531 theaters this past weekend. So out of all of the top 5, we have 2 movies that are in the 3,000 ballpark. Jungle Cruise had 4,000 plus, and 2 movies below 3, which were The Green Knight and Stillwater. So Stillwater comes in 5th place. That's from Focus Features. I also want to bring up Snake Eyes really quick. Snake Eyes had a 70% drop in its second weekend. And Old was in first place and dropped 60. Snake Eyes was in second last weekend and dropped 70. Snake Eyes only made $4 million, and that came in seventh place. So not looking good for the odds of Snake Eyes going forward, getting a sequel. Let's move on to top 2021 box office movies. And still in first place at the domestic box office is F9, The Fast Saga. It is now up to $168.54 million. Will not be able to get to the, more likely, the $200 million milestone. But Black Widow is also past A Quiet Place Part 2. It's now at $167 million. So Black Widow is $1 million behind F9. So it looks like Black Widow could be catching up and could leap F9, our next taping of this episode next Monday. So A Quiet Place Part 2 is currently sitting in third place with $158 million. And Godzilla vs. Kong is the other $100 million movie at exactly 100 million. So we still have only 4 movies in the entire year as we hit August. Is the 4th movie. We only have 4 movies to reach over $100 million. We'll talk about the movie coming out this weekend. We'll see if it can get to that point as well. Cruella is in 5th place with $85 million. So F9 still head of the table for movies coming out here in the United States. And if we look at it globally, as we did last week, we're just going to talk about the movies that are inside the top 10 worldwide from the United States. Just like last week, F9, Godzilla vs. Kong, Black Widow, A Quiet Place Part 2, Cruella, and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It are all in the top 10 of movies worldwide. F9 is in 3rd place worldwide, Godzilla vs. Kong 4th, Black Widow 5th, A Quiet Place Part 2 6th, Cruella 7th, and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is in 9th place. So right there, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6 out of the top 10 movies worldwide are American-based movies. The top 2 movies of the entire year worldwide are both Chinese films that have grossed over the leader has an $841 million. F9 is number 1 American-based film worldwide, and its worldwide total is $641 million. So the question is, what movie could catch F9 next? No one, at least here in the United States, is close. The next closest movie is $485 million, so nowhere near the 640 for F9. Coming out, guys, this weekend exclusively in theaters and on HBO Max, or not exclusively, so in theaters and for free with no extra cost on HBO Max, The Suicide Squad will be in theaters this weekend and on HBO Max. I'm seeing it Thursday night. That review will also be available Thursday night for The Suicide Squad. Cannot wait to watch the movie. It is the only major movie release of the weekend. So can Black Widow stay in the top 5? We'll see next week. Thanks, guys, for watching this video, supporting the channel. Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. If you just want to watch these videos, there's a playlist to my right about all the other weekends I've done so far on the channel. I've also done some reviews of The Green Knight, Jungle Cruise, F9, Black Widow. I've reviewed Old. I've reviewed all of these movies on the channel. That playlist right there can take you right to it. I'll see you guys very, very soon.